During a morning YouTube sequence on my other channel, Lionel Nation, the question came up from somebody, one of the folks, who said, I want the truth. I want the truth. Just give me the truth. And I said, what do you mean the truth? You know the truth. I said, no, I don't know the truth. What are you talking about? America hates the truth. You don't want to know the truth. You don't want to know the truth. You want the truth that complies and comports with what your worldview is. I have a friend of mine, dear friend. He's a Trump supporter. Absolutely adamant that anything Israel does is cool. No problem. And I asked him specifically, do you want to know the facts about that? No. Let me just work on my set of facts. You do realize if this was any other country, you'd be saying something different. I realize that. So you don't want to know the truth? Nope, not interested. Not interested in the truth. Sorry. I want the truth that comports with my worldview. You got it? You got it. Now, for lack of a better word, recently we had this case where President Trump's, I guess you would say President Trump's, what would you say, his criminal case here in New York was put on indefinite hiatus or freeze or whatever it was. Nobody understands what the hell that's about either. Nobody understands. Nobody grasps it. So I was tooling about it today, and I had on the transistor in the Yugo, it's a stretch, Harris Faulkner, regarding, it was on Fox News. I wanted to listen to it. And because I don't listen to them. I hear, sometimes I'll catch something after the fact. I guess you might want to say this. In any event. So she says, this case is forever basically, I don't know what the word is, put on hold or frozen. No, it's not. It's not what it was. She made it sound like it was basically over and the Trump won, and I guess he did win. But the point is, she saw the facts of the case from her vantage point. And that's not what happened. Going back to the case, are you familiar with Bibi Netanyahu with the ICC issuing an arrest warrant? He and Gallant and the ex-defense chief or whatever it was, I think there was somebody from Hamas who was also on it. I think Sinwar, he was on it. He was killed. There was somebody else who was on it too. I think he was killed in a bombing. So people were saying, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous because the joke used to be the ICC was called the International Caucasian Court. It was always African leaders, with the exception of Milosevic. And I said, what is your problem? Well, we don't care about this. This ICC is ridiculous. You loved it when they indicted Putin. You thought it was great when Putin was indicted. What's the difference? Well, you see, America hates facts. Hates. We love a lie. Give me a lie. Give me something to kind of to expand upon my delusion. So wait a minute. Why was Putin was actually charged with? I think they got Netanyahu with either form of genocide, but also starvation and others. Putin, I think their claim was something about he took people hostage or something like that. Turns out that the indictment was written by one of these Yale profs who was paid off. I mean, it was complete bogus. In fact, the people who were supposedly kept under his control were anything but. To make a long story short, Americans didn't care about that. We said, well, what are you going to do? You know, the ICT is good. You know, criminal courts are a good thing. And ICJ, criminal court of justice is a great thing as long as it's Putin. Well, when the Israeli gets Netanyahu, they say, well, that's ridiculous. So I'm asking friends of mine who are Republicans, why is it why? Well, it just is. Why are you saying this? What are they claiming? Did you read the indictment? I don't have to read the indictment. Don't you want to know what they're doing? I don't want to know. Look, whatever they do, this is what they're saying. Whatever they do, it's justified. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? What do you think about that? What would you do? What would you do? Is that the way this thing works? I don't understand this. Maybe somebody can explain to me how I came along late. Do you want to know the truth? No, you don't. You want to know truth that comports and complies with you, with your worldview. You don't want to hear somebody tell you something that shocks the conscience of what your version of reality is. There's no such thing as a truth either. A lie, by the way, is a misrepresentation of fact with the intent to deceive. That's according to one particular court case. And people forget that as well. So what is it that you want? What is it that makes you happy? You want your worldview to be replicated. You want it to be explained. You want your country, your belief, your faith, your side, your party, your family, your state, your team. You want it vindicated. Anything that veers from that, you don't like it. You don't want to hear it. It doesn't matter. I don't understand this. We love certain things. We love the International Criminal Court. We love it. We love it. I was explaining Milosevic to somebody. I said, remember, oh yeah, right. You thought it was great. Of course. He was a butcher. He was, so you like the ICC? Of course I do. Absolutely. And Putin. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There are three. No. I guess 3 cases that really don't make any sense. Israel, Ukraine, and maybe the Middle East to an extent. You see, Americans don't know anything about this. Americans are not the slightest bit interested in any of this crap. Have no interest. They don't know where anything is on a map. This is our perspective. This is our side of the world. See that? It's not very complicated. Here we are. And then there's a little Mexico down here. And then South America. That's it. The other side, wow. Look at this. Colors, languages, used to be currencies. Oh my God. Histories, perspectives, cultures. We don't know anything about that. What does that mean? We don't care. We're Americans. We don't care about that. What are you talking about? We don't care about that. We don't care about that. We never have. We just had an election. Trump shellacked. I mean, and we're still finding out. He he destroyed her. Absolutely, positively destroyed her, and I'm so thankful. Now, the people who are Democrats, are they crazy? No, they're not crazy. Did they want the truth? No, they don't want the truth. Why did they vote for her? Why did they vote for her? What is it that the mentality that goes through her mind? The reason why Americans voted for her because they wanted, or the Democrats, because they hated Trump. There was no Kamala. She doesn't exist. Where is she now? She is purportedly in Hawaii with her husband. Numbnuts, Doug, that creepy daughter, the model. Remember that one? Weird. How about Tampon Timmy's daughter? She said she went days without bathing or brushing her teeth. Who cares? She's part of this contingent that loves to sit in their car and talk to you like you give a shit about what they think. Katie Couric the other day was sitting there. I don't know. Excuse me. Who are you, Katie? Are you in your... What are you doing, Katie? I'm talking to you. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to you because I have right now this thing called Lionel Legal. And there are people who are subscribed to it. And you have Lionel Nation. People who are subscribed to that. It's a deal. I talk, you subscribe, that's it. And by the way, I hope you're subscribed to Lionel Legal. That's the way we do this. But I'm not presumptuous. It's enough to start talking to people and think that somehow my wisdom is going to permeate. I've got something to say, obviously, but we have an agreement. You come to me. I'm saying this is my thing and whatever. But I I don't feel Delphic. I don't feel oracular. I've seen this before, especially in the talk radio biz. So all these people are talking about Trump. The bottom line is that they had numbnuts for a candidate who didn't know anything. She was an idiot. It was a stupid, stupid campaign with a stupid idiot running along with a stupid idiot vice president, and they didn't know what the hell to do. And every one of these stupid, ridiculous, left-wing, radical left media folks, they absolutely, positively collapsed and will collapse. And don't be surprised if Elon Musk buys MSDNC and calls it X. And the first one they boot on her ass is that complete waste of flesh, Rachel Maddow. I don't know what the hell she does. Oh, I'm sorry. She works 1 day a week. She wants to get, 25 million? I don't believe that crap for a moment. She worked what? Yeah, she works 1 day a week. 1 day a week. 1 day a week. 1 day a week. She gets 25 million? Or she was making 30, but she's going to take a 5 million cut. This is what they say. And she's going to, I don't believe this for a moment. And she says she's going to be doing documentaries and a podcast. MSDNC is dying. You understand that? MSDNC is dying. Left wing is dying. Do you understand? It's over. These people lost it. They were brutalized, shellacked, like nobody thought even remotely possible. Let me tell you what else is going to be in store. Ready for this? You want to know the truth? My beloved wife said this, and I think she's absolutely correct. You know where the next George Floyd riot is? Oh, because they're going crazy. BLM is, what a waste of time that was. You sat back like most Americans, and we said, hey, who is Black Lives Matter? We didn't say anything. You didn't say anything. Nobody said anything. Republicans did anything. Oh, a big shot, Jim Jordan. Huh? He didn't do anything. Nobody does anything. Jim Jordan, John Kennedy, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, all these people. Nothing. Marsha Blackburn. Nobody does anything. They just have these meetings, have these great meetings. Why you? Next topic. Should Fauci be indicted? This is my favorite. This morning somebody said, Fauci should be indicted. You heard that one? Indicted for what? What do you mean for what? For what? Well, he lied. Lied about what? What did he lie about? I don't know. You said he was, I know I said that, but he should be indicted. Somebody should say, how about that thing? What is it? Rachel Levine. Remember that transoperative, transcontinental, this whatever this thing was that was for some particular health. Remember her? And she did that just to freak you out because she was so frightening. They said she should be indicted. Indicted for what? Indicted for what? What should be indicted for? Well, she should be indicted. Again, this is the right wing. We say this all the time. Indicted. What are you going to get? He lied. What did he lie about? What did Fauci lie about? I don't know. You see, let me see if I can explain this to you. And I hope you don't take this the wrong way. And I'm going to exclude you in it. But the right wing is just as bad as the left when it comes to not knowing what the hell they're talking about. The right wing is always pissed off, always angry, and has no idea what the hell they're talking about. None. And now that the president's in, here's the best part. Now that the president's in, now you're getting these people who say, hey, I don't like this Marty McCary, because Marty McCary said at one particular point that pregnant women should get COVID. Excuse me, who are you? What do you mean, who am I? Well, I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. And you know about vaccines? Well, what about vaccines? What do you know about vaccines? Well, I just think that you think what? What about vaccines? What? What about vaccines do you know? What about them? Do you know about vaccines? Well, Marty McCary said that, well, is he wrong? Well, because we have all these experts here who know everything about it. We know everything about it. Everything. We know everything. We know everything. Everything. We know the Constitution. We know law. We know vaccines. We know history. We know everything. And then there's another woman. There's a woman, his Surgeon General pick. I forgot her name. They don't like her because she said something else. So let me get this straight. Trump's supposed to come out and say what? Well, he did that warp speed. What was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to do? What would you ever recommend to somebody who's going to be president? By the way, you just tell all those people during the beginning of COVID, don't stop all of these. Just no vaccines. Forget it. Again, because these are the people who say this nonsense and they say this crap. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think, this is important, do you think is the issue, but do you think that this is just some kind of a joke? Do you think that SARS-CoV-2 was a joke? Do people believe this? Do they think this was a joke? There wasn't COVID? Do they believe this? Because the more you talk to people, the more you realize they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. They live in this world. I don't know what it is, but they live in this world where they honest to God believe that they know everything. They really believe they know everything. They I swear to God, they just, well, because it's, what do you know about this? Well, it's the most, I can't. And now that we won, we got to make sure we have our stuff together, so to speak, and people have to know what they're talking about. And let me ask you something. What do you stand for? What do you believe is the number one right now? The president comes to you, let's say, and the president says, all right, let me ask you a question. What do you believe is what is the first thing I do? You're in charge. You work for the president. What's the first thing you want the president to do? Tell me. What do you think? What's the very first thing? What is the very first thing? You work for the president. He calls you into his office. He goes, okay, tell me, what do I do? Day one, what do I do? First thing, what do you do? Secure the border. How do you secure the border? What do we do? How do we secure the border? How do we secure the border? Talk to me. I want specifics. How do we secure the border? I'm the president. I turn it over. What do you do? What do you think? I'll wait. I want to hear from you. Finish the wall. You think the wall is it? You think the wall is it? Chrissy says it's the wall. You think the wall is it? They're coming here because of the wall? Is that it? Come on. Shut the border. Okay. Shut the border. I'll make a deal with you. I shut the border and I finish the wall. What do I do? What do we do? Where are the people? They're in here. We have what? 2 million, 3 million, 4. Who the hell knows? They're here. What do we do? The policy's broken. I just fixed it. I just fixed the border. Nobody's coming in. I've got the 82nd Airborne at the border, and we stopped all this, and this. The EBT cards. All this. What do we do? They're here. What do we do? The answer is deportation. 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 Somebody says get on the phone with Putin. No, that's not the problem right now. Number one problem. Number one thing. What are we looking for? What would get their biggest attention? The attention first off. What would make the people say, "Oh my God, this guy is serious"? You turn Tom Homan loose and you go nuts. And you have something called the White Bus Brigade. Why do I say white bus? We need to have a group of people in a collective called the White Bus. And this is the group of people that you see. This is the people that you see. Okay? You see them. And there they are. There they are. The White Bus. And you see these people going in. They've got bags and they're going under the bus. And then you call up the local news station, you say, watch this story. And you see bus after bus after bus after bus going. And then maybe planes or airports. Did you ever see those white planes? They're always white. Those planes that came in here at Westchester Airport here in New York, right around Teterboro in Morris County in New Jersey. They were there all the time, late at night. And you tell the news people, catch us. Look at this. There they go. 1, 2, 3, 1,000, 4,000. Dump them off where they left up. See ya. Have a nice day. What happens what about the children? What about the children? What about the children? What about the unaccompanied children? Unaccompanied children? You mean children that are here? What do we do with kids? That's a different story. If you have nobody to send a child back to, you have to obviously wait to find out. They pose less of a problem. But everybody else, but are we going to split families up? You betcha. The same way we do when somebody gets arrested. When somebody gets arrested, you split them up. You go to Child Protective Services, you go to jail. You've got to show this. They've got to show this. You got to see, holy God, these people mean business. That's what you do. We can do this all day long. You can talk about all this stuff you want. It doesn't really matter. I don't care. We talk so much stuff because we tweet and we go online and we have memes and we got fun and you got Greg Gutbucket and you got Hannity. No, this is great. And doesn't mean a thing. They're sitting back and they're saying these people don't do anything. Republicans don't do anything. And I'm not a Republican, by the way. I'm an independent, but I guess I'll have to be. If you, honest to God, think that anything is going to change by sitting back and having another hearing, having Jim Jordan talk about something, you're out of your mind. That's the very first thing. It's got to be like holy. And I mean, they have got to show pictures of it. You've got to see this. Lines of people, buses, people. Every one of them iris scanned. Every one of them biometrics. If they come back in, we know who you are. We got them. Iris scanned. Every single person. Give me your name, whatever your name is. I don't care. Give me your name. You call me. I got your iris scan. I know who you are. You are forever. You can also do lobes of the ear, whatever. But iris scan is the way it is. Biometrics. Make sure we know who they are. They can never come back again. Anytime they're picked up, there we are. Portable virus. Guess who can help us with that? Elon Musk. Guess who can help us with that? Elon Musk. You got this? Elon Musk will help. He's good. Do I trust him? I don't know whether I trust him. But the good news is he's here. And he and his buddy Peter Thiel and all these other folks can get together. And there's all these folks. I got to tell you something. I don't want to mention names. But there are these sniveling people. There are these. I don't know what you call them. They're kind of sort of maybe in the, for lack of a better word, the Alex Jones school. And the Alex Jones school works something like this. They're conspiracy theorists. Again, I hate that word. I'm just going to use it. And there's one in particular. And she sits back and she smiled. Very smart. She's very smart. And she talks like this. And this is why we got to worry about this, because Peter Thiel and all of the people from Silicon Valley have to work together because they're responsible for Palantir. And then it's like, fine. What is this? I just want you to know that I'm so smart. I do all this research and I've got this deep dive and we got to be careful of Peter Thiel. I say, well, what do you want to do about Peter Thiel? I don't really know. I just want you to know this. Well, what am I talking to you for? I don't know. I'm just very smart. And I'm a smart person. I'm like, okay, fine. It's just like this week it was JFK's assassination. I don't want to mention any names, but did you ever watch these JFK people? So full of shit, it's not even funny. So full of shite, it's not even funny. The worst. By the way, I don't want to mention names because it sounds like, I hate when people, they sound like, look, anybody who does this show, do this show, I'll tell you if I like somebody, but I don't want to do this chicken shit. So when I mention somebody, Dan, I like this one. I'm just going to tell you what they do. I'm going to tell you what they do. So there's a bunch of, and these are Kennedy assassination people. They're the worst of the worst. Oh my God. They're like, they want to go, and then Peter Thiel, and then we have for the deep state, George Soros in Oklahoma City, and this event. That's a great. Okay, so Oklahoma City was all nonsense. Huh? Yeah, it's not gonna. And there's, have you noticed this? You watch this, you go, hey, this is great. What about it? It's just great. What are we watching? I don't know. I've been doing this now for 20 something years. Well, ever since I've been doing this for 35, but total in terms of radio. But we do all this stuff. Hi, I'm a 9/11 support. I'm an investigator, and you know that we find Muhammad Atta's. We found his passport, and it wasn't burned. And how does it? How? In fact, it was intact. And how do you have a passport that was found on the ground and it's intact? That's a good point. What are you gonna do with it? I don't know. Well, what do you want to do about this? I don't know. Well, what does this mean? Well, what does it mean? It means it is passport. Forget the passport. What does this mean? What is it? An inside job? How is it an inside job? What does this mean? See, nobody puts things together. They just say these things. Here's my best. This is my favorite. Hi, I'm a Kennedy. I'm a Kennedy researcher. Here's my favorite. J.D. Tippett was actually not in front of the rooming house on duty that day, but it was in 38, it was in 45, and the amount of time that he ran could not have been run within the 10 minutes it took to get from the bus stop to the Texas School Book Depository. And Edith Payne, who was the landlady of the boarding house that Marina Oswald stayed in, actually knew J.D. Tippett, and it was a 38. I said, what are you talking about? I just want you to know that it was the landlady. Well, who killed Kennedy? Oh, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? What are you talking to me about? I just want to show you about minutia. I want to explain to you things and data that connect to nothing, but they just put this world of, wow, that's odd, but it tells you nothing. There's no conclusion. And people watching this confuse that with actually thinking, I'm learning something. Well, so tell me, do you have any idea about John Kennedy? No. UAPs or yeah, UFOs and EBUs. Here's a Tic Tac. Ooh, look at this. Here's the gimbal. Let's get Elizondo. These flew at 20,000 miles an hour. This in no way is indicative or in any way consistent with human propulsion. Well, what is it? I don't know. What the hell are you talking to me about? I don't know. Here's another one too. Biggest bunch of nonsense. How about Diddy? What are you going to get with Diddy? What do people think you're going to do with Diddy? Oh, they're going to find out. Find out what? Well, they're going to get to the bottom. Get to the bottom of what? Well, they got, pictures. Pictures of, don't be surprised. If you got Oprah and Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington, what about them? Are they involved? Well, I'm not saying they are, but they here's a picture of them. They're together. They're shaking hands. Yes. What about Harvey Weinstein? Well, he's there too. What does this mean? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? What do you mean you don't know? Tell me something. What? Well, Bill Clinton went to the island. You know how many people went to what's his name's island? Thousands of people. It was an island. What do you think they did? I don't know. Where are all the women who said, hey, this is hundreds and hundreds. Where are these women who said, I was molested or hurt by Bill Clinton or Bill Gates or whoever? I'm just giving names. Where are they? Don't know. But we got a black book. What about the black book? I don't know. Do you see where we're going? You don't know anything. We don't know anything. You can listen, I swear to God, and I love him. I think he's one of the best there is. Alex Jones. Alex Jones will point out things and tell you, and what do we know? What do we know? And then we have to think about Soros. What does Soros do? Well, he ought to be indicted. For what? No, I don't know. What should he be indicted for? What? Well, he put those prosecutors. What's wrong with that? What, are they not qualified? Well, maybe not. What, he can't do this? Do you hear what we're talking about? Do you hear what we're talking about? We live in a world of complete and total nonsense. What are we supposed to think this is? What do we think that? And people just don't, they just don't say anything. And then when you have absolutely no idea of what to do, you quote Ayn Rand or maybe some book of something, or I don't know. You'll just refer to, go, see? What does that mean? There you go. There you go. Jekyll Island. What Jekyll Island? You just say things. You say these things. Now, what I'm trying to do is I want somebody to say, unless you're going to tell me something new, or like 1984, another one too. 1984 wasn't supposed to be a research manual, an instruction manual. Okay, you're right about that. So what do we do? Well, I don't know. I don't know. So let me see. 9/11, you don't know anything about that. JFK, you don't know. By the way, RFK, that's probably the easiest. That is the easiest of them all. This is the most you ever see these great ones? These incredible, these are really good ones. Eugene Thane Caesar. Did you ever see this guy? Eugene Thane Caesar. Where is Bobby Kennedy? He's mentioned him. Nailing and demanding the identity and the solution and resolution of the murder of his father. Where is he? Where is he? We know there were only a few people in the room. Bobby Kennedy had gun deposition, close point blank contact, and Sirhan was over here. And if that doesn't look like quote MK Ultra, I don't know what is, by virtue of what he says. I don't remember anything I did. I don't remember anything about it. Same thing with Mark David Chapman. I don't know anything about this. What happened with this stuff? Did we go anywhere? Do we go anywhere with this? And I know this is important, and I recognize this. I guess what I'm trying to say is I have been the most patient for the longest time, telling people, do not get your heart set on anything unless you can show me some critical thinking connection between what happened and proof. Don't give me these kind of theoretical, what are we going to do? Okay. Trump picks Matt Gaetz. What the hell was that about? Is he crazy? And Matt Gaetz is now doing, what's that thing called again, honey? That thing, Cameo. Did you see this? Matt Gaetz is doing Cameo, where you pay $500 and he'll give you a personal message, like, maybe people want them a happy birthday or hi, this is Matt Gaetz, the disgraced congressman and one-time attorney general nominee. And here I am wishing Belinda and Dave a happy anniversary. Can you believe that? Do you hear what I'm saying? Isn't this sad? And then somebody said, well, the reason for this is important. This is the most important thing. Let me tell you something, and I mean this sincerely. I am so honest to God tired of all these people. I am so tired of people who are so full of it. I am so tired. You have no idea. I'm at the stage where I'm saying either you tell me something that's happening. I would love to have, we need commissions. We need a 9/11 commission. We need a COVID commission. We need somebody almost like a Russell commission, like a Sartre commission, somebody along those lines. We need somebody to have, you remember the Russell Commission right around Vietnam? These were citizens who actually got together and they said, we are going to put together on our own our version, or what, tell us the truth about Vietnam. Remember that? Remember that? Let us do this. Let's get somebody like, believe it or not, we'll get somebody like our dear friend Joe Rogan, the most important person ever. You understand this? The most important person there is. You've got to know critical thinking skills, and you've got to look elsewhere. Fox News is an anachronism. It's this very easy, low-hanging fruit, simple thing about whatever. I don't know what they are. There are these people who are there just to kind of, they're not going to say anything about Israel. They're not going to say anything about Ukraine. Never. They're not going to say anything about 2020. How many of you find, folks, after what we learn now of the numbers, how many believe that the 2020 election was legit? Based upon the new numbers that everybody from Joe Rogan on down, how many believe that the 2020 election was legit? Anybody? Anybody believe that? Anybody? Anybody think like, yeah, that was legit? Anybody? You got to be kidding me. You can't say that on Fox because, and I'm not talking about a machine. I'm not talking about Dominion or Smartmatic. I'm not talking about that. The easiest way to steal and to bend the truth is through anything written, write-in, ballots, and the like. That's what this is about. You hear what I'm saying? But if you said something to call you an election denier and you're crazy. So if you're an anti-vaxxer, they still call Bobby Kennedy an anti-vaxxer. Anti-vaxxer. Number two, if you're a truther, if you don't believe the official story of 9/11, you're a truther. Number three, if you have questions about the birth situs of Barack Obama, you're a birther. People, you don't remember this one, when people were wondering whether actually did what's his name actually get it? Who's saying you're a deather? I am telling you something, and I want you to listen to me. And I want you to listen to me because I love you, and nobody's going to tell you this the way I'm telling you. I know there are people who believe the Rothschilds, the Zionists, the CFR, the Masons, the New World Order, name it, the Catholic Church, name it, go down the list. There are people but they can't connect anything. I heard one the other day that was so good that the Titanic was the Titanic and JFK was a Jewish plot. It was a Jewish plot to get Kennedy. And it sounds good. And there are people who thoroughly, I'm not ruling it out, but just because you've told me, oh, that's interesting. There are people who love the story. Let me ask you a question. I hope you're learning something. Do you believe that weather is manipulated? Do you believe anybody, any UK friends watching today? Any UKers out there? Anybody? Any UKers who, do you see what they're doing in Donegal? Do you see the weather? Do you believe, do you believe that weather is manipulated, augmented, enhanced, whatever it is? Do you believe this? Now, I would love to say, people would say, yes. Okay. Why? What? Why? Why do you believe it is? And then you have to say HARP. And you can say Operation or Project Popeye, Storm Sky, Silver Iodide. What does that mean? You gave me a name. What does that mean? Is it manipulated? Are hurricanes directed? Are hurricanes exacerbated? Tell me. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. See, I'm into probable cause versus reasonable doubt. Years ago, I said, what are they spraying? What are they spraying? Those are contrails, condensation trails. Condensation trails. Yeah, those are condensation. Those are condensation. That's what? That's water vapor. That's water vapor? I don't think that's water vapor. Why? Well, because it's spreading out and it's covering keeping the sun out. And that water vapor would no. It's plus there's lines of it, and the water vapor is being shot. No, I know what a condensation trail is. A contrail is. They don't last forever. And then they were called chemtrails. The chemtrails were given the particular denotation of being a conspiracy theory, when in fact the word is geoengineering. Geoengineering is real because that's called dimming. It's called solar radiation management, carbon dioxide removal, stratospheric injection, barium, strontium. It's already there. It's already there. That is absolute climate change. And it's by done. And it's there and it's online and it's as clear as day and nobody knows anything about it. Why is that? But people will talk about Ayn Rand. I don't know what those people are about. I've never understood. Say, what does it mean, Ayn Rand? Gulliver's Travel. What does that have to do with anything? The Lilliputians, the Boeotians. What? Not the Boeotians, Lilliputians. We just say these things. HARP. What about HARP? HARP. I heard you the first time. HARP. High Aurora. Remember that? They stop at ionization. What about it? I don't know. Well, what are you saying this for? I don't know. Do you believe weather is modified? Yes. Why? I don't know. I have it could be. Could be. Oh, anything could be. This is the way we work. This is the way we don't know critical thinking. We just take probable cause and we just absolutely, positively, we just extrapolate it to every conceivable. This is the most amazing thing in the world. And if you don't know, if you can go and learn about geoengineering, do not call them chemtrails. Go to geoengineeringwatch.org, the great Dane Wigington. There you go. What do you need to know? It's there. Now, the question is, can it affect weather? I don't know. But I want to learn. I get this all the time from people. 9/11 is an inside job. What does that mean? What's an inside? Who's in it? Well, I mean, the government? Yeah. Well, how do you know that? Well, because they found Muhammad. Okay. What does that have to do with anything? It's like a conspiracy theory is tantamount, and the other side will use it. They use conspiracy theory as a means of saying crazy. How do you know what happened? I don't know what happened. We don't know anything. We got to keep going, though. But there are people that I know who love this so much. Let me give you an example. Years ago, downtown New York, Manhattan, there was a Muslim prayer center or something. Now, I want you to imagine this. There were imagine two buildings like this. This is the height. And they were separated in the slightest bit like this, a little bit of not an alley, but a space where the property lines, they did not abut. There was a space. I don't know why, very rare. Most buildings in Manhattan. But there was a little space, okay? Okay. 10 years maybe after 9/11, they found the wheel of a plane, which I guess was one of the planes that was hijacked, between these two buildings. So it had to fall from the sky and land between these two buildings. You could have stood over it with the housing itself and let go, and it would have bounced or wouldn't have. It was somebody who dragged it in, and you didn't have to be any kind of an expert to know. Now, what does that prove? I don't know what that proves. All I know is that did not fall from the sky. People say, Rumsfeld said that they were missing $1 trillion, whatever it is, from the budget. Next thing you know, it's 9/11. What does that mean? I don't know. This is the thing which I want to tell you about. We need somebody to complete the investigation. Don't just give me the aha and then move on. We're not done yet. What do you mean aha? What about it? Remember when Benazir Bhutto, Prime Minister of Pakistan, she was killed. Remember? She said, Bin Laden's dead. What? He's dead. He died. Mullah Omar got him, and another one got him. Albright said it. I mean, there were all these things, and he's dead. What are you talking about? He had Marfan syndrome. He had I think Lincoln had it too. He was sick. He was probably on dialysis. People said all these crazy. Remember when they found Bin Laden in Abbottabad? Remember that? And Abbottabad is the town in Pakistan, which is like it would be like their West Point. And this big building that's stuck out like a sore thumb, kind of like a mansion compared to these others. That's where he was. Nobody looked there. They walked in. They had the picture of him. Remember that? He had a Snuggie on watching TV. They found porn and Viagra and all this. I mean, this story. Remember the guy who killed him? I killed Bin Laden. A lot of people said they killed, but there's one guy who said, I killed Bin Laden. Why'd you kill Bin Laden? Why? Why would you kill Bin Laden? Why would you want to catch him like Hussein? This is the architect of international terror, and you kill him? Why'd you kill him? Why didn't you surround him and say, come out with your hands up? And then he grabbed the woman to put him in front, and they lied. Remember the Marines or the SEALs or whatever it was who was killed on that chopper before or after? All these facts. How come nobody ever saw Bin Laden's body? How come nobody saw we saw Uday and Hussein? Remember Hussein's son? We saw them. Why wouldn't you show somebody's body? You've heard of object permanence. You've heard of how important that is. You've heard of how important it is, especially people around the world. People around the world who are superstitious and think that he's some kind of a god. Why wouldn't you show people once and for all? This is what he looks like dead. He is dead. This guy, your leader, is dead. So don't think that he got away or hell, they were even questioning Hitler. Remember that? Why didn't they show his picture? Why? Doesn't make any sense to me. Well, we buried him at sea. You did what? In the Indian Ocean? Why? Well, we checked with the Quran. There's something in the Quran about burial at sea? A dead, but what? Nobody asks any questions. Nobody cares. They just say, okay, sounds good to me. How long are you going to put up with this? How long? How long? What do you think? What are you going to do about it? You going to demand any answers? We're just going to talk about it. We're just going to talk about it. Just going to talk about it. Yeah. Or we'll talk about Satan. Well, it's evil. What? Evil. Evil? Yeah, evil. I know people who actually believe in a person, a thing, an entity called Satan. One person, one thing, and then there's like Lucifer, they're kind of like little demons, but one person is responsible for evil. If there was no Satan, there'd be no evil. It's the most preposterous thing I've ever heard in my life. Most preposterous thing, but they believe it. It's Satan. 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 Satan is responsible for this? Yes. What does he do? He just sends his, he puts the word out, go out and kidnap children and cause wars. Just follow my word. How does he work? I don't know how he works, but he does it. He's responsible. He's responsible. We are so crazy. We're attributing psychopathy and what we call evil to Satan in the year 2024. Satan, with the horns and the whole bit. Satan. Lucifer, Luz, giver of light. Lux, Lucis. Satan. Remember, Lucifer was God's prosecutor. I mean, just this crazy. And then you've got him lead. You know what a Christian Scientist is? No. Not a Christian Scientist. Christian Zionist. No. You know about the eschatologist? No. You know how many people who want to precipitate the end of the world in the Middle East? No. People who believe in this, who believe that this is when Jesus is going to come. This is going to be the tribulations and so as I started off, my friends, I said truth is a lie. America hates fact. We love fantasy, and we don't want to make any kind of an attempt to get to the bottom of the truth. We don't like the truth. We don't like the truth. We are so satisfied with nothing. Conjecture, suspicion. I want to know the truth. Do you hear what I'm saying? I want to know the truth. I want investigations, and I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop because somebody says something. I'm saying, no, keep going. We're not done yet. I don't know yet about 9/11. I don't know yet about, I'm still trying to figure out what Vietnam was about. Okay? Just remember this. It's up to you. It's up to all of us to demand that something be done. Thank you for watching, my friends. Make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Legal. Leave your thoughts and comments behind us. And don't forget our final words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.